The mixtape came. You're now tuned into the sounds of electro rubber band. Juke, yeah, baby, juke.
All right, everybody, what's up? Thank you for tuning in. This, again, is another episode of Tony Tones World, brought to you live from Club Q, aka Club Quarantine. Unfortunately, we couldn't get together because we have a social distance thing going on, so I figured out we'd just do it virtual. So depending on how you're looking at this, to my left on my screen is Tavo, and below me is Noel, or Noel. According, I guess white people say Noel, so depending on who you are, you can say Noel or Noel.
Grassy Knoll.
But again, thank you guys for joining me. I know we've already spoken last week. You guys are on an episode. It was kind of hectic. We had about 8 people there, so but it was a great time. Cheers to you guys for coming on board again. And if my background goes in and out, I apologize. But that's one thing I'm going to stop doing is apologizing. So a couple things going on. I shaved my entire beard, and I look like this is my quarantine stash. I'm not really sure how I like it, but it's all right, whatever. I think everybody here hasn't had a haircut in about a week and a half. We're probably going to look like trolls at the end of this whole dilemma, but it's all right. For me, it's been somewhat hard, I realize that I don't, I can take a step slower in life. I don't need to, gather. I don't need to always go to everybody's gatherings socially. And it actually kind of almost feels good as of right this second. We've only been on quarantine since last Friday. So it feels good just to kind of be home and just kind of relax and do nothing. How about you guys?
I think I feel similar, man. Like it feels good just to kind of go to sleep whenever. I mean, I still have to wake up because I work remote, but you take out like the getting ready for work and you take out the commute and you feel like you have so much time. Working out, I don't freaking look at the clock as much. It's just kind of I finish when I go. Definitely hope to be able to carry that type of mindset, like not think about time so much after the quarantine. But it's weird though, dude. It gets a little weird when you haven't been out, and I don't know, man, cabin fever. It's the real thing.
For sure. How about you, Noel?
Man, I agree. There is like some good things, like you pointed out. You get to realize, in a busy life, you get to pump the brakes right now, and you get to actually, slow down and see that, you didn't have to be living like that. But I got kids, so like it's cool because I'm spending more time with my kids. But I do have to say that some days I'm not sure what day it is. Like, has that happened to you guys? Like, you're like, man, what fucking day is it?
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it does get crazy a little bit, but it is barely, the first week?
Yeah.
And then if they actually do the shutdown for, like a month that they're talking about, rumor has it that they're going to extend it, but I think it will take a toll on a lot of people. Just oh man, I've been hearing a lot, man. I've been hearing a lot of conspiracies of that there really isn't a virus. They're lying. Like on my Facebook page, there's people that really believe that the virus is not real because, and one argument I hear a lot is, does anybody here know anybody personally? And like nobody says anything. So they're like, see, there you have it. And it's like, bro, there's people dying in Italy right now. Have you guys been keeping up with what happened with Italy?
Yeah, I've seen that
Yeah.
there's so many people passing away and stuff. However, the numbers can be, depending on how you look at them, they can be skewed because I guess in Italy, the generations of families, they have 3 generations of families living in one household. So
Can you speak up a little bit? Sorry.
They have 3 generations of families living in one household, meaning so like they could have a young, the youngest generation and the oldest one. The oldest generation might not go out. The youngest one might go out because they feel like they might not catch it, and then they bring it home to their family and then they get killed and so forth. So it's devastating no matter what. However you look at it, it's devastating. Here in the U.S., to your thing, I've heard people say that it's all made up and there's conspiracies around it. Like my wife told me, whether you believe in conspiracies or not, it's still devastating. There's people still, passing away from this. And for her, she does work in the healthcare system, so she does hear about it every day. So it's a little bit harder for me to go, understand that person's viewpoint, saying just because I don't see somebody or I don't know anybody, that means it's not around. I don't know anybody with AIDS, but I know AIDS is around.
Yeah, that's a good point. But it's just not only that. I've also heard, and the reason for that argument, the reason was that it's just the government trying to take away your rights. Another conspiracy I heard that this is, it wasn't from a bat. It was like a man-made virus, and it was unleashed on the people for whatever reason, whether it was to keep the Chinese protesters in check or to ruin Donald Trump's re-election chances. Also was that 5G on your cell phone.
Right.
That's really what's happening. There's no such thing as a virus. The 5G is what actually causing people to get ill and die. And yeah, man, it's crazy, man. But that's just what conspiracies are, man. They're crazy ideas.
It got worse once this fake media, like just this whole snowball effect of just saying everything's fake media or something's fake, and now it's just when I don't know what the fuck to believe. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I kind of just browse everything.
You can post something online, and people will take your word for it. You know what? They won't even. Like for an example, the headline would say, some evidence says that coronavirus could be caused by 5G. People don't read the article. They'll just read the headline, and just by reading the headline, they made up their mind, and oh my God, it's 5G that's making everybody sick. And that multiply that by thousands and let those people go in the public screaming that, and these thousands are screaming something else. Yeah, you got to be careful what you read and see on the internet, because it's anything you want now.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think throughout all of this situation, I do think there is some sort of silver lining here, right? I mean, like you said before, we get to hang out with our family, our friends, our family, our kids, our immediate family. I do see a lot more people exercising for whatever reason, outside exercising. Maybe they do go to the gym and the gym's closed, so you could just see it because it's next door to you. But the fact that you see so many people exercising is great. The fact that we see so many kids out there exercising is great. I think even though it's just such a pandemic, I think overall, our economy might be slow coming back, and people are definitely going to be devastated. Well, they did the stimulus bill today that hopefully helps people out with their financials, but I think it'll be a slow coming back from it. But I think overall it'll give us everybody like some sort of cherish their life, cherish what they got going on. Stop not driving so fast, but going through life so fast. Does that make sense?
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
It definitely is like 9/11 and the Great Depression, like had a baby and like came up with this, I think it's definitely going to be different once we cross over, especially like if you think about all the businesses that are saying, hey, like we can function like this. Like we don't need to pay for all of these overhead bills. You know what I mean? Like I think there's going to be a lot more remote businesses, and unfortunately there's going to be a lot of businesses that just don't make it out, man. It's kind of like how evolution works. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what's interesting to me is I know a couple people that have to stay open because they're essential business, right? And even, I've been off since not off, I've been home for the last week. And before that, the week before that was still scary. It was recommended that you work from home, but it wasn't mandatory. It wasn't pushed on it so much. So even then, from my company, I kept going into the office, and I was kind of upset. I felt some type of way about it. But then now I'm home, and I know that like my mom, she's still going to work, and whether or not her business is essential, or my sister going to work, and whether her business is essential, I know they're cracking down on it now. But it sucks to see companies take advantage of their employees, knowing that they need the money in this time.
Yeah, I see that happening. A lot of like just at Walmart, man. Have you guys? Whenever you guys go to Walmart, man, they got them employees working
right
overtime.
Right.
They don't get paid well to begin with.
It's a catch-22 though, because like you might lose your job, you might get laid off. But then the grocery store is like every grocery store I know that is hiring basically third shift, stocker, whatever the case may be. So it's a catch-22. I mean, if you need the money, if you're that person that doesn't really, care for not care, but understand the virus or believe in it, even the hysteria around it, then shit, you can get some good money right now.
Yeah. In Denmark, they had something, I guess it was, like their stimulus package. What they basically did, because this virus is making the economy just come to like a screeching halt. And I think a lot of people were not happy about the stimulus package, because it's really not just about the people. It's not just give everybody $1 million and everybody's going to be happy. That's not what they're really trying to do. But like the average person is going to be like, well, why are you giving Walmart or these other big corporations a bailout? Give it to us, But the thing that, for an example, Denmark did is their main point was they want the economy to not die off, So what they basically did is they said, look, we're going to freeze the economy. We're going to give corporations money, but they cannot fire or so they're actually going to pay their employees to stay home as long as when the shit clears up, the employees got a job and they go back to that job. Because when the global crisis in 2009 hit, they learned that it took forever to get the economy going again because they had to go through the rehiring process and the training process, and it took them forever to get going. So they're trying to be proactive and saying, let's just put these guys on hold, and then when we get on going, we'll plug them right back in, and our economy would just keep on going as where it was. I think that's kind of like what we're doing here with this stimulus package. They cannot let you've heard the too big to fail phrase. Well, they're talking about the economy, because if the economy dies, guess what? We don't have anything. We don't have any money. We can't work. We're going to be dying off too. So the economy is a big a big reason why they're trying to pump money back into the big businesses, because we need the economy. If not, then shit, just forget about it.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think I'm a dumbass. First and foremost. So I think my question is, like, I'm all for the stimulus bill. Don't get me wrong. Like, hey, for money, I need it. Everybody needs it, right? I mean, who doesn't want the money? But at the end of the day, the back end of it, who's paying for this? Like, at the end of the day, in next year, are we going to have higher taxes because of this? Like, I don't know how that works. I don't know who's paying for the money in the back end.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember getting a stimulus package by George Bush, and I think we paid that back at the end of the year. The stimulus package just came out like this morning.
Right.
I don't really know. I did hear that there's like stuff in there that has nothing to do with coronavirus relief. But I guess we'll find out eventually, sooner or later. But, it's been signed, it's been done. What's done is done. But, yeah, that's a good question.
George Bush stimulus package I had just bought a place, and he was giving anybody who had just bought a place a $7,500 like bonus, like on their taxes or whatever. And then that person had to pay back like $500 every year off of their taxes. So it was just like something that every year right off the bat, I lost $500. And then like, it was cool though, because actually like halfway through something happened and I didn't have to pay it anymore. So like, I don't know who paid it, but I didn't finish it.
That's cool. I think, so sticking on the same topic, what about your children? How do you
Dude, I've changed my mind on this virus like a few times already, because it's new information. We're adjusting to new information. As far the more time we have studying it, we know more stuff. So, I mean, just like everything else, man, we just got to wait and see what happens.
Yeah. It's been like a roller coaster, dude. Like, at first I was scared of it, and then I wasn't scared of it, and then it started getting real. All these businesses started closing their doors, and I'm like, oh, shit, I'm scared of it. It's just been a roller coaster, man. It's when you take into consideration that you got, like, like old relatives, there's just so many different pieces of the puzzle. And then even then, like we said earlier, to our earlier point, that like you don't really know what's true. Like everybody's saying it doesn't affect like the younger like population, but supposedly it is affecting younger Americans differently than it was affecting like people overseas. So, I mean, I think that the only thing we can do is just stay home and pray for the best, or hope for the best.
Here's a question. Yeah. How do you explain it to your kids?
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. My kid told me today that I had to go run to the store to get some, stuff that we need, milk, eggs and stuff. And he wanted to go. And nobody goes but me. I go to the store, but I'm careful. I disinfect everything. Then I get home. I change, put my clothes away, shower, and then boom, But my kid today was like, man, can I come? And I'm like, no, you can't. And then he said, man, I miss going out. And I was like, damn, and this is barely the first week. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like they're so young. My kid's 7, so he kind of knows that something's not right, but he's just listening.
Right.
Sure.
We're not trying to scare them, but it is difficult, especially what I've been seeing online. Kids with birthdays. Actually, my nephew's birthday is this Saturday, and he's a young boy. He's like 9, 10, and he's been waiting for this all year. But
right.
Nobody's gonna be able to be there for his birthday. A lot of kids are gonna be like alone on their birthdays. Like, what's wrong with me? How come my friends and my family isn't coming to sing me happy birthday? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's tough. It's a tough one for the kids right now.
I think, man, like you can't fool kids and you can't fool older people. Like they know, man. Even OJ's little ass, he was like, "Hey, Dad, like when's the world gonna be normal again?" Like, what do you mean? This is your life, you know? I just want to go out and go to like my grandma's house, and like they know, dudes. I think with the older ones, like I encourage them to start a journal. I'm like, you're living through history right now, you know, like write down what you see, and you know, I try not to like baby them too much. Like I want them to understand what's going on, but at the same time, they're kids, so it's
Yeah, I have an 11-year-old, and she's kind of somewhat aware of what's going on because of her mother. Again, she's in healthcare, so she's constantly telling her not disinfect, but wash your hands. You know, don't put your hands on your face. You know, all those things that they're telling the public, basically. And it's hard. It's somewhat hard. You know, my daughter is an introvert, so she does like staying inside. She doesn't mind it, but she still asks those questions. And my 2-year-old, she doesn't care. She's down for whatever. But yeah, it's just a weird situation. My daughter's birthday is in July, so we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't go that long. I hope to God it doesn't go that long. But yeah, I couldn't even imagine if it was your birthday right now, how horrible that would feel. 'Cause that shit sucks.
Yeah, man. My niece has a quinceañera coming up in 2 months, and it looks like they're gonna have to either cancel or push that back. But even if they do push it back, and they do alleviate the whole stay home lockdown thing, and they, you know, I don't think 100% of the guests will go anyway, just for the fear of it still being out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 5 more people in Aurora. It's been confirmed that there's been 5 more cases of the coronavirus in Aurora today.
Yeah,
I think it was 3. So is it 5? It's 8 total, or is it 5?
8 total, and that have it, and there's been 1 death so far in Aurora.
that's
Scary.
It's and to me, man, it's only the beginning. It's in 2 weeks, we're probably looking at guaranteed double digits.
Yeah.
Who knows? Hopefully, we're not gonna get anything crazy like, you know, in the hundreds and thousands and shit. But you know, we gotta wait and see what happens.
Is it weird to say that, back to your diary point, Chavo, or journal, is it weird to kind of connect the Anne Frank and then like this situation together? Like, especially if it goes like 2 weeks, even longer, like from now to this point to like, so a total of like a month or whatever, and even longer, or however it goes.
I don't think at all. I mean, when I was talking to Aaliyah about it, like we brought up Anne Frank like this. Not that this is as drastic as that, or
Right.
like I want it to be. But you just never know. And at the same time, you're living through history, man. Like this is gonna be the thing that they're gonna grow up and tell their kids about, and you know what I mean? It's just like try to be in the moment.
And I'm 31 years old. I've never had a shelter in place, ever. So this is my first time ever either, too.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think to your earlier point, if it's not like doing something directly to you, like what can you use it? Like use it for like the positivity that it can create. And so something else happens.
I think you said earlier that you were exercising, and just kind of switching gears, but you were exercising. Man, I've exercised twice since I've been home. I probably gained about 10 pounds. I've drinking probably a good 4 jars of michelada mix. My blood pressure is through the roof. I have a stash. It's basically like a midlife crisis. So I definitely need the shelter in place to go away.
I shake my head. That's as midlife crisis as it gets, man.
It's hard, bro, because to add to that, when I went to the store, I wasn't really into the whole panic buying. But if you don't become a panic buyer, you won't get your stuff that you want. So it sucks that I had to fill my entire cart out to the damn rim and buy a bunch of stuff, you know?
Because you got to protect your own.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, I didn't want to, but everybody else was doing it, and it sucks that you got to, when the world goes crazy, you got to get crazy with it. And, yeah, bro, so now I got, like, my pantry's full of Ho-Hos and cookies, Oreos, and it's hard not to eat it all, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to not eat it all. You got snacks for days and munchies, and then you get bored.
That's the only trips we take, man, to the fridge.
Man, dude.
Grab more beer and more liquor.
Yeah. It is what it is, man. Oh, got it.
Hey, special appearance by OJ. OJ, the juice man. So real quick, let me ask you a question. So the first 3 days, how did you guys feel? Were you guys okay with the shelter in place? Were you guys like emotionally, like for me I'm okay with saying this. Like as a man, I was down, I was sad, I was upset, and down inside about my situation. I was upset that I couldn't get out, go to the gym like a normal person, and so forth.
I think me, dude, I was kind of relieved, man, because like I said, I was kind of following it since it had first started happening, and I would tell like Brenda about it, and she kind of like she wasn't as concerned as I was, and even when they like told me I had to work from home, I'm like, yeah, we shouldn't really be going out, So it was kind of like all right, like now you have to stay because it's not just me acting a fool, So it just made me feel better about my family, like them
Right.
kind of, oh shit, like this dude's not crazy. We should stay because it just got more real, for everybody.
No, what about you?
Yeah, man. To be honest, man, at first we started not going out before the actual lockdown. We started not going out like a good 5 days before that the actual lockdown or shelter in place thing. I got a niece that works with like in a biomedical lab, and my nephew's he's in college for some other smart shit that I don't even know, but so they explained it to me. I have questions and I'll ask them, hey, because I've been hearing that in the summertime it's going to kill off the virus. You guys heard that?
Yeah.
The heat, the warmer weather will kill out the virus. And so I like bring it up to them. Sorry?
No, I'm saying like I've heard that, not to cut you, but then you wonder like why it's so bad in like warmer places like California and whatnot.
But it's still not summer there either, though.
Yeah.
That's the argument that I heard, right? Because that's the first thing I thought about. What about like in
Australia?
In countries that are on the equator and shit, But so I would ask them because they're knowledgeable about viruses and cells and pathogens and shit like that.
Mm.
And they laughed at me because I was like, hey, we're going to be cool in the summertime, right? Like when the summer comes and the heat is going to kill the virus, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, no. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, well then how come the flu isn't popular in the summer? It's more popular in the winter, right? Well, explain that, and then my nephew and niece were like, well, because in the winter, people close all their windows and they go inside their house and they tend to like huddle up in their house and they don't got fresh air and they meet in a small spot versus in the summertime, you got the windows open and fresh air and cookouts, everybody's outside. So the flu's easier passed when you're in enclosed rooms, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of felt like, oh shit, that's this whole thing about the virus dying in the summertime is not something to rely on. It's pretty serious. And they also told me other things about, like everything else, washing your hands, just to be able to make it through this thing without losing anybody in our family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a crazy time right now. Every day is like a new thing. There's something always new every single day. Every day there's something new. And it's like Tiger King. Have you guys watched Tiger King on Netflix?
No.
No? Oh, you guys watch Tiger King after this, after we record. Your
Tiger
minds will
what?
be blown. Tiger King.
Okay.
It's on Netflix. It's a weird documentary about some gay polygamous guy that got set up for murder. It's weird.
Hey, have you guys heard of a new virus called the Henta virus that's coming out of China?
No. I'm
It's
cool with
like-
viruses. No, I haven't seen any more viruses.
They said it's the next coronavirus that just popped out of China, but that's probably some more conspiracy theories going on.
I hope so. I mean, at least I hope. I hope it's just propaganda.
That's crazy, man. Crazy.
So we don't have to talk about coronavirus the entire time. I think one other reason why I wanted to bring you guys both on is because I know you guys both love music. And more even deeper to that is you guys have a craft for music. You guys have a hobby for music. And me personally, I'm literally just like, I'm 31 years old. I think I might have found something that I like that I'm giving my more attention to, especially with this being home so much. But like podcasting, video editing, audio editing. I don't want to be like Dr. Dre or nothing, but I like this world. I do like the world. So I think I wanted to bring you guys both on because you guys have this craft. How'd you guys find out about this craft? How'd you know that you want to spend more time with it? I know if you lost your job or if you forgot, God forbid you guys lost your job, you know, music is something you can rely on to like help you emotionally.
Yeah, for sure. I'll go ahead and let you start.
All right, maybe it's better because you probably have more to say. So when I started rapping, it was just like a hobby, you know. Just I started rapping because it was cool. I was a young kid and I would rap and you know, the girls liked it and the dudes thought you were cool because you could rap better than this dude, and you know, so I started just rapping. It was fun. But I never really made like albums and songs, and I went to the studio. It was just like garage rapping, you know, in basements and, you know, battle rap. And
But it was therapeutic.
Sorry?
But it was therapeutic? It was something that helped you out mentally at times?
You know what, man? To be honest, I wrote songs like when I was down, you know, whatever life brought to me at that point. Yeah, it could be an escape, you know, like poetry. You write how you feel, and it's a hobby. You got to write it a certain way. But, so yeah, in that sense, yeah, it was therapeutic. But I'm not going to lie, the majority of it was, you know, because I had fun with it. I thought it was just cool to be cool, I guess. And it wasn't until like much later that towards the end of me rapping that I started like recording. Towards the end of all them years that I rapped, it was towards the end. And then that's when I met Tavo, was towards the end. And Tavo, that's where I'll let Tavo take it from there, man, because Tavo, he's got albums, he's got videos, he's got a bunch of stuff. So go ahead, bro.
Tony's or freaking Noel's making me sound like I'm like top notch.
The Tupac book, like behind you.
For the people listening, if you don't know, this is the mixtape king right here.
The mixtape king. For me, man, I kind of had like a weirdly like tragic start with like falling in love with rap music. I think my cousin passed away when I was in sixth grade, and they played a Tupac song at his funeral, the "Life Goes On" track. And I remember listening to it, and then like it like being stuck in my head, and like I didn't really listen to Tupac before. I mean, I did, but I didn't. It wasn't really. I don't know. It's just like I was a kid, you know. So I got his greatest hits. That was the first Tupac stuff I ever listened to, and like I forced myself to like learn all the words, and like I don't know, man. I just started doing that to every one of his songs, and like before you knew it, I wanted to be Tupac. I was trying to write like Tupac. And then I met Lalo, and Lalo lived next to me, and he had a way different. Basically he listened to everything else, and I just listened to Tupac. And he also had his like little piano and shit. And we started then, and I was trying to rap to a computer screen, and he was like playing the piano, and it was all like live from then. And then like during high school, I think it was kind of similar to you, man. It was just like I was trying to be cool, trying to freaking like say all the cool lines. I don't know how many different ways I said that I can get fellatio. It was just like the only thing that I knew how to do. And then I don't know, dude. It just always was like a kind of like a therapeutic thing for me to do, just kind of zone out. And I think I was getting better as the years like progressed. And I just like stuck with it, dude. And then right after high school, I still had like the dreams of being a freaking rock star. So I was like trying to do albums and trying to do shows, and I had like big dreams, and then it just kind of like I grew up.
So those dreams, you like I don't know, like I started this podcast. I'm not here to like make money or monetize or some shit, but to be honest with you, I hate talking on the phone. I hate having conversations with people, or not with people, but just just awkward conversation. I don't like small talk, right? But it's weird that I wanted to start this podcast because it's kind of pushing me outside those boundaries. Yeah. But I remember one time Tabo came out to California when I lived in California, and he had all these little like cards, basically, or like pamphlets. They weren't pamphlets; they're like cards with like your album and your MySpace or your Facebook or whatever. I think it was MySpace at the time. And we were at the Ontario Mall, just passing them out to every single car, putting them on the windshield. Remember that?
Yeah, for sure. It was the best feeling about that was getting home and then like seeing someone like right on my YouTube saying, "Hey, I just got your CD in Ontario. This is awesome. Like, you guys need to do more." I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." I think that was the one hit that I got from being out there. But I don't know, dude. I will say that when I finally like stopped trying to be cool, I think I started making my best music, and that really wasn't until like the last like couple years when I started doing it. I was just like making like before I tried to make music to try to be cool, and then as of late I've just been making like whatever, because I don't really have like I don't want to be cool, like, you know, I fucking am cool. So now it's just like, hey, I'm gonna just do whatever I do, and if it gets freaking 3 plays, like, you know what, I had fun writing it. I think it's a good song, and you know what I mean. Like, it's different, and I think my music has gotten better. So I don't know if I'll ever stop because I actually really love doing it, but it's just like kind of I don't know, the reason why I make music is a little different now.
That's the same way I feel about this. I don't care if I get 1 view or if I get X amount of views, whatever. I don't expect nothing, but I do love this. I do like just learning about this entire situation, how to do it, and the conversations we're having. The fact that I'm doing a virtual, you know, conversation with you guys while you guys at your home, you know, it's cool. I like it too.
Yeah. When somebody finds out I make music, like nowadays, they're like, "Why didn't you tell me you made music?" And I'm like, I don't want to be like here's my mixtape guy. You know what I mean? I don't want to send my kids to school like with their dad's mixtape and like. I don't want to be that guy, but you know, I still like making music, so I don't know. Yeah. But I will tell you this, Noel, you have the best ideas. When I first met you, I was like, wow, this dude, like, he would tell me his ideas for like different songs. And I'm like, dude, this is the best idea I ever heard. Like, I wish that you were giving me ideas like when I was, because I kind of met you a little bit towards the end too. So like I was already kind of like deciding that rap wasn't for me.
I still got them ideas, bro.
Got some crazy ideas, man.
I
Tell
got some.
me one of your crazy song ideas that are just sitting there.
Man, dude, which one you want to talk about? There's a bunch. Yeah, dude, there's so many. We could talk about which one would be a good one, man?
The Doctor, anyone that you could spit like a few, like a sample, like 4 bars.
Nah,
No, I'm not Sway in the morning. You don't got to spit bars.
I don't want to mess it up, bro, because like you can ask Tavo. Like, I actually like needed to sit down with him for like a good while, show him the beat, and then pause it and explain to him like kind of like the background of what I'm trying to put in his head when he listens to the song. So then when I start saying this way out of left field shit, he's gonna be like, oh, that's dope. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I just go ahead and do it now, people listening gonna be like, what the, they're not. There's a build. There's a build to it. I just can't. You know what I'm saying? But
I think that's what I found like the most intriguing. Like you had like different reasons for your rhymes. And
thanks, man.
So.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, man.
Yo, you got this song Mariposa and this other song you sent me. My wife likes it. We like it. You got to finish that, man. I want to put that shit as my anthem, I think.
You know what, man? The thing is, those songs, like, I wasn't going to come out with them. I just felt like, to be honest, it was like subpar, and it was just me just like in a car listening to a beat and basically just freestyling. And that's dope. And that's funny and cool. And I guess, that's all right. It's just me talking shit.
Yeah.
And Tavo and Lalo, like I rapped it for them. Because I was like, look, man, I'm going to get my little nephew to rap this shit because he's like 14 and maybe it'll be cool if a 14-year-old rap it. And then I rapped it for Tavo and Lalo. And Tavo looked at me and said, bro, fuck, let me rap it. And I'm like, nah, dude, it's for the little kid, man. Why you going to rap this for the little kid? And then, but after that, I was like, yeah, go ahead. And he was like, no, how about you just rap it? And I was like, man, for like a long time, I was like, nah. Then we had some studio time, and I went in there and just fucking rapped it. And that's the copy that you got, Tony, that little first take. It ain't done yet, but shit, even that one, we've been bumping that at the house, driving around.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I sent it to my brother-in-law, and he's been bumping it.
Oh,
that unfinished song, we still been bumping it, dude. It's funny.
It's like so undone, bro. Like that's not. I mean, it's cool. I don't care. I'm not like a serious rapper no more. I just do it for fun, and that's exactly what that song was, bro. Like it was a fun ass song, and it's different than a lot of people's rap songs that you hear now. You know what I mean? So that's why I like it because it's a fun song. I'd say. I
think so. So like even a deeper meaning or deeper level is what I'm trying to instill in my daughters is like, yeah, you gotta find a job because you need to support yourself, obviously. But you hear about that job where you want to, it's not a job if you love what you do, basically. It's not work. Basically, I've never had that situation, and I'm learning what I do like now. Maybe if I would have went to school for this, I could have been making better money not making better money, but making money doing this now. So just trying to find those dreams or trying to figure out what you like specifically, put all into it and then, make your dreams come true. Why not? It was so cliche to hear that back in the day, but now I understand what they meant.
I'll tell you one thing, man, and Tavo, I'm sure you can agree with me. Like, we would go and do rap shows, and the first time we actually got paid to do a rap show was Peachtree. Shout out to Peachtree, by the way. They asked us if we could open for them, and we're cool with them. So we were like, yeah, hell yeah. And then like at the end of the night, we weren't even like expecting money because we've been doing so many shows like for free. We didn't really understand like the business, and that's where we kind of fucked up. We were young and we didn't know any better, and we had really not much guidance. It was just a group of friends going out and rapping.
Right.
And then we got paid, bro. Like I think he gave us $50. I think $50 was. And man, bro, that feeling, that was the first time at Midtown. That was the first time I ever got paid to rap, man. And that was like just the feeling of that. And we had to split that money like 4 ways.
Everybody got one drink.
It wasn't much, you know. I think we put it towards like studio time. And no, man, but the feeling of actually getting money to go up there and have fun, you're partying. We were all partiers back then too, so it was just some shit that we were doing just for the fun of it. And boom, they gave us money. After that, we started doing our own shows, and we were able to keep the cover at the door. Whatever we made at the door, it goes into our pockets.
Yeah.
And we had a really large fan base, and we would like fill places up to capacity. And man, it was just a really fun time, man. And we were making like $500, $600 from one night of doing a show. Some good times, man.
Comedy shows too and stuff. Like we started to expand a little bit. You remember the comedy shows?
Which one?
The comedy shows that we were doing.
Yeah.
Like what were we calling?
Yeah.
It was some definitely good times, man. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just living the dream, not living your dream, but living your passion is kind of what I'm trying to just do.
Just feeding that.
And so like recently with this whole like us staying in stuff, it's obviously giving me more time to do my podcasting stuff, and that I love it for that fact. But I think from this point on, I just got to keep the ball rolling. I love doing it. And once you stop, it's kind of like going to the gym. Once you get in the groove of doing it, then it's like you fiend for it. You need to go. If you don't go, you're pissed off. It's kind of the same kind of feelings I get.
Yeah, you'll see too, dude. Like in a year or two, you'll look back and you'll see like the growth, and then that'll be the inspiring thing. And then 2 years from then, like now that you thought you're good, it's just gonna be like a constant growth thing.
Yeah.
Hey Tony, so since you asked us, I'm just curious, what made you create Tony Tones World and the podcast, and like why did you take that leap? Because you actually you had to invest in yourself a little bit. You had to buy the equipment. Like when we did that podcast the other day, it was like, damn, this dude got like 6 mics, and he's got, that shit ain't cheap, and then for you, I was like, man, you got the lights set up, and you know what? It was like, I was like impressed of when I walked in the room, like, damn, this dude's really got this guy's really, I was nervous. But what made you go ahead and make that decision to create your little show, podcast?
So a couple of things. So before I start, the reason that show I recorded, I'm a dumbass, right? So it's all learning curve. I filmed that entire session on slow-mo.
Damn. Damn.
So the entire conversation, the entire video, everything is on slow-mo. We're just moving like this. But it was a fun time. All right, so the reason why I started this thing is over the years I've realized I have a lot of anxiety. And I have anxiety, right? But not only that, I've for lack of a better term or phrase, like I talk to myself a lot, and not in I don't know, I don't want to sound like a crazy person, but my conscience always talks to myself a lot, especially when I'm working out or when I'm doing things that I don't realize, like it's just like when I'm at work, I'm just doing like a simple spreadsheet, just realize that I'm talking in my brain the entire time. So that one night I just figured, why don't I just like put those thoughts or put those things in my head onto a mic, and I listened to it, and I was like, it helped. It was just like, it was like kind of therapeutic. So I think it was just my anxiety kind of pushed me to that. I do love having conversations. I do love learning about people, their backstory, what they're going through to maybe help somebody, or I don't know. I'm not Dr. Phil or nothing, but maybe if I'm going through something, maybe the same feelings I feel about something, maybe somebody else is feeling about something. So I've always thought about like other people's feelings a lot, and I was always in that cool stage, like constantly trying to be the cool person at school, and it got to a point like, you know, years after whatever, I was like, I'm tired of that shit. So then my thoughts kept going inside my head. So again, it was just my thoughts, and I just kind of laid it down on the track, if you will, like if you were rapping. And at that point, people called me Tony Tone, and I didn't really realize what else I was going off of, so I just put world, and that's it. And it was easy to Photoshop. So that's about it.
Dude, I can't stop looking at you and thinking of Borat.
Well, wait till next episode poster. You'll understand why. But yeah, I appreciate those. The thought that you thought about me investing in myself about it. Like, it wasn't a one-day purchase. Like, it took me a couple weeks to, purchase all that stuff and, make sure my family's okay and so forth. So, yeah, it's been some time. Now that I'm putting content out, I'm learning things every time. Not to film in slow mo. This whole this right here is brand new to me. So it's cool, man. I love it, and I appreciate y'all being on here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I hope you stay with it. It looks like you're staying with it.
Yeah.
It's definitely inspiring to see somebody just chasing feeding that creative bug inside of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I always told Tavo, let me get on the track, but I suck at rapping. But I always had that creative bug inside me. I knew it was there. And now I see it coming out more and more. Like every time I do a poster, every time I do something for the podcast, I see it there. So maybe that was my way of doing it. My name is Tony. I love Lodi. Don't fuck with me because I get my homies. Woo!
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, I gotta get Lalo, put that on the track.
That verse
should be your intro.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. That's a great question. Thank you for asking.
Dope, man. Good.
So what's up, Tavo? Anything on your mind?
Shit, man. Just staying cool, man. Staying cool. Trying not to think too much. Like, to your earlier point, I think that you're just human, bro. We all do that. Don't we all get in our heads and think? Try not to do that during these times. That's what I've been doing. So
yeah.
Maybe I'll write a song. Maybe I'll write that verse. No.
What?
Maybe I'll write that verse to jump on that song with you, man.
Oh, on that track, that Fresco?
Yeah, Fresco.
All right, let's do it, man. Let's do it. And then Tony's going to have to have a song and we play it again on it.
No, man, I want y'all to – I'm trying to make a jingle. I think I need to make a jingle for my podcast. That's my next thing. A song or like an intro and outro. Yeah. Same thing every time. Instead of biting other people's music.
That'd be dope.
Yeah,
for sure.
But you got to do it, though.
Yeah, well, with y'all help, maybe.
Yeah, that's cool.
It has to be with your help because I don't know shit about making music. But man, we're hitting about almost an hour. That's crazy. I mean, unless there's anything else you guys want to bring up, I appreciate y'all being on.
No, man. Well, thanks for having us on, man.
Cool. Cheers.
Cheers, dude.
Cheers. I know you probably got an empty bottle. It's all right, though. Cheers, guys. I appreciate it.
All
right, man. Stay safe. Be healthy.
I can eat you up like chocolate. Hot damn, I said it, you perfect. I put my things out, flip it and reverse it. Shoot not it when you work it. Party jump, call it Kermit. In the club like what with a baby suit. You can move when you do, cause you're able to. Baby, get wet like a baby suit. When I'm done, you down like a saber tooth.
Yeah, baby.